Hamilton versus Brantford. Where should you live? Well, in this video here, we're going to be comparing and contrasting their cost of living, the real estate, the education, the transportation, the parks, and more. So by the time you finish watching this video here, you'll know if Hamilton is right for you, if Brantford is right for you, or maybe both. Now, make sure you stick around to the end of this video here, as I'm going to be sharing the #1 reason why people choose not to move to these cities. So make sure to stick around to the end. But let's first jump into just the location and the population and the size of the city. So if we look at Hamilton, it is located right on Lake Ontario and borders the GTA, giving it easy access with taking the 403 all the way out to Toronto and Mississauga. But then you also have easy access to Niagara Falls along the QEW. And this here has a population of just under 600,000 people. And Hamilton really can be broken down into a variety of other distinct communities, all that have a population between 50 and 100,000 people, from Ancaster to Dundas to Waterdown to Stony Creek to Central Hamilton and Hamilton on the Mountain. And then you have some smaller regions like the Flamborough and Glanbrook regions. Now, if we look at how those compare to Brantford, Brantford is located a little bit more westward of Hamilton, just along the 403, and gives you easy access as it was built on the Grand Bend River. So you're going to have amazing walking trails along the river here, with a population of just about 105,000 people. So as you can see from a size perspective, Brantford is going to be just a little bit bigger than some of those more distinct neighborhoods that make up Hamilton. And as a result, Hamilton is about 5 times bigger. So you're going to have a bit more amenities to choose from, events going on, and more. But before we jump into all that, if you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a local realtor, and this is my channel where I share everything about what it's like living in Hamilton and the surrounding cities. And if you're thinking about making the move to Hamilton or Brantford, send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation consult call, where we can answer all your questions about moving to Hamilton or Brantford. Other than that, make sure you stick around to the end to learn the #1 thing I always discuss with clients before they choose to move to these communities. So now let's take a look and see how they compare with the cost of living. And if we look at the research done by the Economic Research Institute, it breaks it down into 4 categories of the affordability for both Hamilton and Brantford. And as we can see here on the chart that the Economic Research created, the food and the healthcare were a bit more affordable in Hamilton compared to Brantford. However, one thing is common in both is that the housing and real estate was rated as least affordable. So let's give a bit more context to that and see actually how they compare within the real estate space for Brantford and Hamilton. And if we look here, we can see what the median sold price has been in Hamilton and Brantford for the total amount of real estate sales. So as you can see, on average, Hamilton is going to be a bit more expensive, but just how expensive is going to depend on the different property types. As here we can see that in the last 12 months, detached homes have been 22% more expensive in Hamilton, the townhomes have been about 15% more expensive in Hamilton, and the condos are about 30% more expensive in Hamilton compared to that of Brantford. And then if we take a look here and break Hamilton down to the different communities that make up Hamilton and compare that to Brantford, what we'll find is that Brantford is more affordable than Ancaster, Waterdown, Dundas, Glanbrook, Stony Creek, and the Hamilton Mountain. And then as for Central Hamilton, it's about similar with the real estate price sold. And then if we take a look at one more graph here, breaking down the real estate and look at where all the homes have sold within the different price ranges in both Hamilton and Brantford, what you're going to notice is you're going to find a lot of the homes really selling above that $500,000 mark to about $1 million. However, of course, you're going to find a few above $1 million and just a small amount below $500,000. But one of the other things you're really going to notice with this graph here is that Hamilton's sheer volume of real estate options compared to that of Brantford's. So if you are interested in learning more about the different real estate available in each of these cities here, send me and my team a message to book your free relocation consult call, where we can review some properties we think you might like based on your search criteria. Other than that, let's jump in and see how they compare with the transportation scores. And let's first look at the walk score, as Hamilton was rated a 50 compared to that of Brantford's 39. And then if we look at the public transit score, we're going to see that Hamilton was rated a 45 overall, where Brantford's was a 37. And Hamilton is definitely still continuing to improve their public transit system as they're adding in an LRT, adding in more GO train lines, where Brantford still has some general public transit within the community. However, there's only going to be a few GO bus options to get around to the other cities. Then as for the bikeability score, Hamilton was rated a 50 and Brantford was rated a 45. And of course, depending on where you're living, these numbers can vary greatly as these are just city averages. So I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to go check out and look up a certain home. But the next area let's take a look at is the education and how they stack up in both Hamilton and Brantford. So in order to rank the education, I'm going to be using the Fraser Institute rankings that just takes all the standardized tests that happens in the EQAO and puts it in an index. So overall, Hamilton had a total of 111 elementary schools with an average of 5.64 rating, where Brantford had only 36 elementary schools with an average of 4.7. And then as for high schools, Hamilton has a total of 23 high schools with an average rating of 5.47, where Brantford has 5 high schools with an average rating of 5.62. Now, of course, these are going to vary depending on what school you're exactly looking in. So I'll leave the link down in the description as well to the Fraser Institute rankings. But as for post-secondary schools, how they compare is that Hamilton has McMaster University and Mohawk College, and Brantford has Wilfrid Laurier University and Conestoga College, as well as a few smaller universities and colleges throughout both of these communities here. They both offer great education options. However, as a former McMaster alumni, I'm going to have to give Hamilton a slight edge. Other than that, let's now take a look and see how Brantford and Hamilton compare to the professional sports. And really, it's going to be a landslide victory here for Hamilton, as Hamilton has the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the Toronto Rock, as well as the Hamilton Honey Badgers, and we do have the Hamilton Bulldogs, but the First Ontario Centre is currently going under construction. So for the next few years, Brantford's real estate team is the Brantford Bulldogs, as that's where the Hamilton Bulldogs have currently relocated to while the arena is under construction. Then as for green spaces and parks and how Brantford and Hamilton's compare with some of my favorites, as in Hamilton is the waterfall capital of the world. So you're going to have just so many different waterfalls to go hiking, and because of the waterfalls, you're also going to have an escarpment with just spectacular views of different downtown areas, Lake Ontario, as well as just great scenery to see the changing leaves. Some of my personal favorite spots would have to be Spencer's Gorge, where you can go check out Webster Falls, Tews Falls, and of course Dundas Peak. But you also have Confederation Park, which is an amazing variety of beaches, but also home to Adventure Village and Wild Waterworks Park. And then up in the rural areas, you're going to have many different large conservation areas like the Bin Brook Conservation Area, where you can go hiking and canoeing, or Valens Lake, where you can go camping in as well. And then as for Brantford's parks, what you can find is my personal favorite has to be the Brant Conservation Area, which is a massive park with a variety to do, where you can go hiking, fishing, or canoeing along the Grand River. Or you can also go check out the Earl Haig Family Fun Park, which is an amazing water park in Brantford with a variety of slides and a lazy river and more. And then in Brantford, you're going to find the Glenhurst Gardens and Art Gallery with some beautiful curated gardens. And then, of course, in Hamilton, you'll also find the Royal Botanical Gardens, which is very similar, just on a larger scale, of all these beautiful curated gardens. And some other similarities about living in both of these communities here is, one, you're going to find a variety of different shopping options and local restaurants to choose from throughout. Now, because of Hamilton's sheer size, of course, you're just going to have more shopping options to choose from. And in my opinion, I've been to many different restaurants in Hamilton, and I have to say, well, Brantford does have a few local gems that if you want to learn those, send me a message. But overall, I would say I'd have to give the food scene a better credit to Hamilton. Some of my personal favorites, just to mention in Hamilton, would have to be Cowabunga Pizza, an absolutely spectacular pizza, or Merritt Brewery, where I always have to get their butter chicken sausage. And then another thing that's similar but different is you're going to find an airport in each of these cities. Now, Brantford's airport is going to be more of a regional airport where you just get your pilot's license. Hamilton's airport, on the other hand, is an international airport. We're going to find a variety of destinations across Canada, throughout the United States, in a few few in the Caribbean as well. Then another thing that is going to be similar about both of these communities here is you're going to notice some rougher areas of both of these communities where it's more industrial, where you're going to notice a higher crime rate, where you're going to notice a more homeless population that is present. So if you want to know where those areas are and how to avoid them, send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation call where we can help you find the best neighborhoods that work for you and your family. Other than that, the next video I recommend you go check out is my video covering the top 5 reasons why I absolutely love living in Hamilton today. So you can find my video going over the last 5 years why I love living in Hamilton right here. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.